This video will shed the light on one of the most easy ways to obtain power on this game, so please don't skip it. So equipment comes on tiers, and we are skipping pretty much the talk about other tiers temporarily because the objective here is to give you the maximum possible power game, assuming you own legendary equipments regardless of how many parts you have. So there are two types of equipment, the defensive one and the offensive one. The defensive parts gives you defensive attributes and survival related stats, while the offensive one gives you an attribute that is related to damage. Why this is important? Because you don't want to spend your resources in parts that is less likely going to give you any benefits, but in fact will cost you money and ton of resources and waste all of them. For example, some upgrades are called targeted upgrades, which means it targets a specific troop type or a condition, and you might not even face those troops or even use this attribute. For example, if you are playing an archer and you decided to upgrade your offensive part, upgrading elimination or damage to the troop type you counter might not be the best way. Again, it depends on the scenario. It's unlikely to fight a player that you counter, and even if you fight a player that you actually counter, you have already the advantage since the start. Why would a swordman want to fight an archer in the first place? The chances of you actually using these extra attributes is 1 out of 4, because the buffs is not really going to work unless you are facing a troop that you either counter or you get countered by on the case of the defensive equipment. In this case, if we took these two parts, for example, which one of them is actually stronger in your opinion? One part literally has costed 10 times the other one. This is very expensive part. It costs 10 times worth of equipment in order to make. Yet elimination doesn't give you real battle benefits right now, neither does the counter damage, because if you think about it, the meta starts with pikemen and archers being the strongest, and none of them counters each other, so none of these stats is actually going to give you anything good. So if you own this match of equipments, it's better to use these extra equipment parts on upgrading multiple of hands. So other than using all of your hand parts on a single equipment, it's better to split these parts into a couple of 1-star equipments, giving you overall more damage. 1-star equipment currently holds the most value when it comes to benefits, as you are getting 2.5% damage increase versus every single troop type. Then straight 4 stars holds the second best value, but the cost is just unjustified. It's too much. But guess what? By just unlocking 3 slots in your golden armor or even the purple one and equipping it with 3 purple skill gems, it will give you exactly the same benefits as if you have upgraded a hand or an offensive equipment to 4-star stats, which is skill damage, and skill damage basically upgrades your hero skill damage output. So your plan should be having 3 hands at 1 star, 3 legs at 1 star, then stop investing. Then start improving your defensive parts. Now when it comes to upgrading your defensive parts, it's a little bit different. The first thing you will notice here is every part gives you a health increase. Health is an extremely rare stat, believe it or not. An army with 100% more health will live 2 times longer than an army with no health increase at all. So is it an important stat? It is definitely yes. But unlike offensive equipment, the second upgrade on the defensive equipment is actually one of the strongest attributes you could have. Marsh capacity contributes into your troops' damage, hero damage, and Marsh survival. A 10,000 Marsh of an army should deal 2 times damage of a 5,000 Marsh, survives 2 times longer, and the troops' damage and hero damage is actually doubled. And this is compared to the 5k Marsh, by the way. However, it has 2 problems. The first problem is, if you can't fill the Marsh, like if you have a big Marsh and you can't fill it, then the stats itself is pointless, and it will make you lose more troops overall, as it's 3% of the total army you own in the Marsh. So if you have 100k, you are going to use a 3k per lose. If you even have more, you are going to lose more. That's basically it. If you can fill the Marsh, then this is one of the best stats in the game. It directly contributes into your damage. It could act even like an extra offensive part. Here is a summary of what you are supposed to do. The best 1-star upgrade on the offensive equipments is the 1st star only. You should aim for 3 1-star hands and legs for the offensive parts. You should aim for 2-star equipment for the defensive parts only if you can fill the Marsh, otherwise it's a waste of resources. Remember that you can reset equipments as much as you want. Don't underestimate purple equipment, especially the chest part, as it contributes directly to your hero skill damage. That's basically it, my lovely cats. If you like my video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Use my link if you want to support the channel whenever you make a purchase. That's basically it, and have a wonderful day.
In a city full of chaos and a tangled web of streets lives a furry feline king, the coolest cat you'll ever meet. He's got muscles like a lion, a strut that's straight up mean, with a swagger and a purr that makes the ladies scream. He's Godzilla, the beast of the block. When he rolls up, the whole place rocks. He's got that charm, yeah, he's got that flair. Every girl in town's got their eyes on his hair. Godzilla!